Warming up to lateral or constant pressure in any direction. So that idea was a drill of having the blades at the floor. I'm going to make contact on the outside edge, pressing in with about 1 to 2 pounds. My follower reciprocates. That makes them steerable. Any side I transfer to, I want to just test when they're plugged in, what they feel like to move. And then we can do the same thing on other body parts. As soon as we make connection, she presses in. That makes them steerable. Makes them steerable. We get the game. Okay. We also had the fisting drills. So now this just gives me the surface to be able to move my follower up and down the line of dance. We don't want to worry about using the stretch tension. The idea of this drill is just going through shapes and recognizing how many different surfaces we can use or we do use in any given pattern.
And which ones are more direct and readable than others?
Yes. We also gave you guys part A, part B. Don't worry about part A at your level of this drill, which was the idea of the leaders closing their eyes and the followers are moving around and we're telling them when we feel stuff. Part A was complete isolation. We don't actually want that. We want part B, which is you are going to use that lateral pressure and tell the leader where you're going. But leaders, what we're doing is we're going for extreme changes in my hand, or slack is going to require me to go right? But I do want to feel my follower's intention, and it's fun to play and switch that roll back and forth.
We do want to use part A actually as we're going through. If I feel like I want to do a footwork thing, but I don't want to disturb him because he's in the middle of leading something, I can still make sure I babysit that connection that he gave me while I isolate the rest of my body from it, so I'm not interfering with it.
But even there, as Tessa twisted open, she still told me she was opening up. She wasn't 100% isolated.
Okay. Invitation triangle?
Then we got into the invitation triangle, so we had 3 types of invitation or play availability. Invitation relax, invitation support, those are both done by the leader, and then the invitation request, which is set up by the follower. Invitation relax is those moments where I've set momentum and I pretty much relax to a basic like 1 pound of connection up at the top. I'm active or not actively leading anymore, leaving the room for my follower to play.
Option is default, or pause and continue, or complete U-turn as long as he stays out of my slot, or
Pattern
reciprocate,
extension.
Pattern extension. And if I want him to come with me, by the way, I'm going to use leading technique to basically request he comes with me. So right now, I'm going to take my nice light kissing pressure, I'm going to integrate my hand in center and take them with me so he's inclined to follow. So if you're interested in having some kind of traveling thing down the floor, followers, you don't have to be the only one doing it. You could lead him to do it with you.
In all cases, followers, when you do accept the request or accept the invitation, you are now the manager of this connection. So if you do want something or you want to help your leader out, I would connect to them, give them some information about what's going on. So reintegrate your kiss back to your leader.
If I want to finish, I'm going to these 3 keys: base, square, anchor. Makes it really easy. 2 of the 3 are recommended. Anchor must be one of them. The more advanced person you're dancing with can handle weird shapes, so it's okay, but the lower level dancers need the clarity.
Yes. Invitation support is any time that I'm going up into an action where I create more tone for my follower. I'm letting them know that yes, you can use me, I'm here for support. And again, once my follower starts doing stuff, it is my job to reciprocate whatever she needs. So right here, Tessa's in compression with me, but as she turns around, she needs tension. It is my job to say yep and give her the tension that she requires. Leaders, make sure you just don't go into those super fast because that feels like a freeze, right? So anytime I'm going into a support motion, it's a gradual increase to that tightness. And away we go. Same rules as to what the followers can do, where they can go, or finish, all there. In the invitation request, this is the follower. As I'm leading my normal pattern, she now finds a time during the connection changes to give me a request. She tones up more, gives more
No weight transfer, just my arm tone.
connection from the arm. When I
Tension.
reciprocate, I'm like,
Then I know
What do
he's
you want?
ready. Now I can put my weight into it if I need it, or now I have the time and space to do what I need to do. And he's agreeing to be follower. By reciprocating, that's his agreement. If he does not agree, or for any reason, doesn't matter what it is, it's not convenient, it's gonna feel like either a slack, like no reciprocation, or increase to override what I'm doing so that we finish. Because he has an agenda, he has something in mind already, and that's not a problem, it doesn't bother me at all.
okay. Now, taking it up to your level, the big thing that we want to do is not wait for the follower to completely finish and anchor. We want to be able to take their ideas and shapes. So we had two things that we did with you. Not only talking about that, we did the game of basically the casino, where we were changing positions. So anytime my follower was stopped, we have the idea of regenerating momentum with linear spring, which will cause linear action, rotational spring, which will cause rotation, or a kind of run around or riding action. Okay? All of those are great when we're stopped. We need to fix something, so we're getting graceful out of it, but it's also what I'm looking for when my follower's in the middle of a play. Doesn't matter which way we got up into this, I'm reading her body and trying to figure out where I can go with that to get it back, instead of waiting for her to give it to me. If she was doing more of a rotational thing there, I'm like, oh, cool, I can work with that rotation, and away we go. So the dance carries more flow than just, yep, you're done, cool, thank you.
Okay,
And away we go.
so that was requests, and what was the last thing you wanted?
Then the last thing we were just talking about the kind of tests
Oh yeah,
that we do, and Tessa has one for the followers too. But basically, in my first couple moves, I need to be testing my followers' kissing level, their stretchability, their stretch and compression,
Weight
their
transfer.
rate of weight transfer, their spinning technique, whether or not they spin themselves or they need me to spin them, or they're going to be slow or something like that, as well as their lateral actions so that I know how much lag they have. And I should also then test their play to see what happens reaction-wise, okay? So that can all be done partly through here. So here I'm testing her basic connection. I can test stretch and compression right here. Set it off, test her spinability right off the bat. Oh, here's some lateral play. I'm gauging that information. More rotational things. Cool, let's see what she does when I play. Oh, she got this, okay, cool. There's all my info. For the followers, you're testing the same things, but
But what I'm feeling is how much play he's going to have in his arms in closed position, see how much elasticity he has, how much he's paying attention and reciprocating to when I ask for a kiss. I'm testing to see how large his preps are, to see if I need to like regulate that or mitigate that.
I'm also seeing right here at the end of the slot how loose his stretch is, so that I know if I have to compensate for that. And in the compression, trigger push, how stiff his arms are, or how deep he brings me, so I know how much I'm going to have to compensate for that as well.
do this roll.
Yeah.
So you're gauging all of that info at how much you have to self-serve.
All right.
Thank you guys very much for being here. You were awesome.